Welcome to Jags Drive Time with Ashlyn Sullivan, John Oehser, and Brian Sexton. Jags Drive Time starts right now.
It's the craziest thing. We had our best 2 weeks of practice. Like, honestly, I could truly say that, and the coaches will probably say the same thing. Like, everybody was locked in. Guys were communicating. The energy was there defensively. We're talking. We did really, really well. It's just when we got in the game, okay, there's going to be fire drills sometimes, but we have to be able to, weather the storm, and we just didn't do that today.
Welcome in Jaguars Drive Time on a Wednesday morning. That was Miles Jack attempting to talk about what the heck happened in Seattle, and we have the privilege of talking about that game for the next 30 minutes, a game we'd all like to forget, but we cannot. It was just one of those days.
I thought, by the way, I thought that was Miles at his best in front
Agreed.
of the media. I mean, since the early years that he was here, I thought he was sharp. Mm-hmm. He had very pointed things to say, and he said it with emphasis. So I was impressed with that.
He was also very honest. When asked what went wrong, he pointed some things out. He could have done better, what the coaching staff could have done better, what his teammates could have done better, instead of just lofting it up to have to watch the film.
It's a long list.
Well, I'm curious, too, with Miles. He doesn't come into the podium very often. Mm-hmm. He's not as, I say media-friendly because he's fine when he talks to us, but he doesn't necessarily volunteer. He doesn't do it a whole lot, but yet he did do it after that game. I sensed that he wanted to come in and speak and, sort of be a stand-up guy about it.
Well,
so I was impressed with that, and it was probably on a short list of one thing that I was impressed with on Sunday.
Well, look, that's the same thing that I thought. And when he is there, normally you can tell he doesn't want to be there, or that he's just joking and everything is, he's laughing. It's a great big joke. Of course, you weren't going to laugh after that result. But I when he walked in, I thought, okay. And then that's as good as he's been dealing with the issues. So more of that, please.
Yes.
And another thing, 4 guys, this is all sort of inside football stuff, but 4 players came in after that game. In the COVID era where it's more guys come to the podium, there's oftentimes 1 or 2 who come in. Mm-hmm. So, again, on a short list of one thing that I was impressed with, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, Smoot, those guys came in and they faced the music off of, what I thought was maybe the worst Jaguars performance that I've seen, maybe in 10 years here. That was bad.
Yeah. I can't recall one. I was thinking the same thing. I was trying to go back through last year, and they were competitive last year. That one didn't look competitive.
Yeah, and I asked myself, we were writing post-game thoughts, and I wanted to write, okay, this was the worst loss of the season. And I caught myself, okay, well, is this worse than week 1 in Houston? Because it was really similar. They just looked unorganized. And I said, yeah, because it's week 7, and this shouldn't happen.
Right.
But I hesitated, I'm not going to lie.
We all saw momentum from the Arizona performance to the Cincinnati performance to the Titans even into the fourth quarter. And then, of course, battling back and finding a way to win in London. We all assumed that we would see more of that. Mm-hmm. Well, we saw none of that. None.
Let's get into big things. Big thing 1 is a timetable to follow, ? Let's look at the Buffalo Bills, the Jaguars' opponent this week, and how they are where they are today. You start at 2017, which started the deconstruction of what the Bills roster looked like. Then they drafted Josh Allen, their quarterback, the next year. The following 3 years, they build around that quarterback, and they have made the playoffs the past 3 years. So this is a great model for the Jaguars to follow because they have this guy, the franchise quarterback. You can check that off the list.
I think it just goes to show if you don't come out and ready to play and you don't play well, this can happen to anybody any week. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You just gotta play well, and we did it. So I think that's it's not concerning, obviously, for me. It's not. Because I'm in that locker room, I'm, with all those guys and see how hard we work and how we prepare. And I know probably from the outside looking in it might be, but it's not concerning. It's just we played like crap today, and that's going to happen every now and then. But can't let this happen again for sure.
Big thing, too, is help that guy, Trevor Lawrence, help him succeed. Wide receivers, 3 drop passes against the Seattle Seahawks, 2 of them on third down conversions. Everyone has to do more. You look at the defensive backs and making those plays and maybe even getting some turnovers. Help your rookie quarterback, and the rookie quarterback himself said, yeah, I have to play better.
I didn't play good enough today, and as an offense, we just weren't clicking. So a lot of things go into that. I think it's really just taking accountability for everyone's part and what went wrong. And, for me, third and fourth down, I think I had 2 missed throws on third down and 1 on fourth down. So it's, guys that are open and not giving them a catchable ball. Like that's, all on me. So those are 3 right there. And then just guys making plays when you need to make plays. And that's me on the third and fourth down. That's receivers on some catches. It's everybody. O-line, running backs, tight ends, everybody. So we took a step back, I think, in making the plays when we needed to make them, as far as just, you got good teams do that, good players do that. So, that starts with me.
Big thing 3 is work harder or work smarter, or maybe both. How do you get ready for the Buffalo Bills this week? What do you change? Do you change anything at all? Because after 2 great weeks of practice, we saw what happened in Seattle.
We're just disappointed. Obviously, we've got to play better. We've got to prepare better. And I didn't see that coming. I saw a good week of practice, and guys freshened up from a bye week. And we got down 14-0, and we got out of we're not built to just be a throw team. And we got out of the run game, and then the penalties were nonsense. I don't know if it was noise or what was the problem, but we just got to get that corrected.
There you have it. That is big things. And you look at this game against the Seattle Seahawks, and we all knew it would be a tough game. We saw that environment, and yes, there was optimism because of no Russell Wilson, but I don't think any of us expected it to look so much like week 1 of the season. The disorganization.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, it could have been different had they gone down the field and scored on the opening drive, right? I mean, maybe then the game unfolds a little bit differently, but you had a drop pass on third down. And I mean, that was the first clue. Right? Because I'd seen that enough out there. I want to go back up to the top, and I want to connect 1 and 2, right? So the Jaguars this week did not make a move at the trade deadline for whatever reason. There wasn't a deal to be made. The teams they were talking to, because the coaches said that they were talking, wanted too much for the player that they were interested in talking about, whatever. Help is not on the way, okay? This team will be built over the next few years. Drafts, free agency, and it will look different. The guys who are here today, mathematically speaking, a third of them will be gone by the time this team makes it to the playoffs. Maybe half of them, right? You will be moving through a lot of guys. So that's why the Bills are such a good model. But until then, it's to help him, right? Catch the ball on third down on an opening drive, LaVisca. Pull that sucker in. You had your hands on it, right? That's been a problem for him the last couple of games. Make the cut and get up the field for the first down, make the block, protect the quarterback, tip the ball, intercept it, give the quarterback another possession. This team can play better with the guys who are here. They got to help this quarterback.
Yeah, I think they can play a little better. I think what they were up against in Seattle, if you guys listened to me last week, which I understand if you don't, I didn't think this game would go well. I thought they were really up against it. I expected, realistically, the Seahawks to win 31-17. What I didn't expect was the unbelievable disorganization and the, looking like you had never played football before at times. That was, I don't want to say disturbing, but I think that's why Myles Jack said it was humiliating and embarrassing. A loss wouldn't have been that was. But I also think that game is what happens sometimes in the NFL when you are not as good as your opponent. And you can say all you want about Seattle not having Russell Wilson. They had Tyler Lockett, and they had DJ Metcalf, and they had guys who are better players than the Jaguars. So when you're playing uphill, Myles Jack said it to the media on Thursday about the margin for error. When you are playing with such a tight margin for error and make a couple of mistakes, avalanches are what happened. If they do that again, they will have more avalanches because they don't have the receivers to make up for it.
Nope.
They don't cover well enough to make up for their own mistakes. So when they make mistakes, they're going to get exposed. This team can't make those kind of mistakes and expect to even be close.
Yeah, and then you look at the Seattle Seahawks, and we were talking about, okay, well, maybe this is a winnable game. Well, now I'm watching SportsCenter this morning, and they're talking about the Seattle Seahawks making the playoffs this year after that win.
It was always a little overblown, the demise of the Seahawks. They were 2-5 going into that game. They expect and hope, they're keeping their fingers crossed to get Russell Wilson back. Well, they looked at it, okay, beat the Jaguars, we get to 3-5, we get Russell Wilson back and make a run.
Yeah.
That's how they should look at it in an NFC where there's a bunch of teams they can catch. That's another thing, again, pat Johnny O on the back. I expected that to be difficult because the Seahawks were desperate, motivated, and still had a chance. playing on the road, that was going to be tough. But it shouldn't have been as ugly as it was.
No, I didn't pick him to win because I couldn't.
Yeah.
However, I did think they'd play better. I did expect, based on what we had seen, that to be a trend going forward. It wasn't.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it coming down to a last-second field goal.
Thought
That
it
would be a
might.
good game.
Yeah, thought it might.
Very different than what we saw. All right, and that is Big Things. When we come back, some this or that on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jags Drive Time is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com. It's not kickoff without the small places that make Jaguars game day big. That's why Crown Royal is turning game day into giving day by supporting communities that serve us off the field. Nominate a local community hero to win the ultimate Jaguars game day experience at jaguars.com/Crown Royal promotion. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly. Hard Rock Sportsbook is coming to Florida. Join the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Hard Rock for safe, trusted, and completely legal sports betting. Go to hardrocksportsbook.com to get all the latest details leading up to launch. Play remotely from anywhere in Florida, including on your phone or computer or in person at Seminole Casinos. Want great promotions like free bets, odds boosts, and bonuses? Hard Rock Sportsbook will have all your favorite bets and promotions. Hard Rock Sportsbook, the best place to be a Jaguars fan. Coming soon. Must be at least 21 and physically present in Florida to wager. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-800-522-4700.
Price.com is the easiest way to save money with comparison shopping, cashback coupons all in one. It's free. Try Price.com today.
This or that. This or that.
We're back, Jaguars Drive Time. It is Wednesday, and it is time for This or That, presented by Price.com, and we're going to Brian Sexton.
Laquan Treadwell or Laviska Shenault Jr. And I'm not saying that you take Laviska and make him inactive on game day, but he's playing outside. And look, I look at Laviska Shenault, and I mean, I see this great, big, strong athlete, and he's a gadget player, right? He's a tight end. He's a guy that you have to work to get open. He is not an outside receiver. He belongs in the slot, in motion, doing different things, coming out of the backfield. So why keep him outside when you've got a guy in Laquan Treadwell, who I get it, a bust in Minnesota, didn't earn another contract in Atlanta, and is a bit of a grab. But look, that's all you're doing right now, is you're grabbing. Taven Austin is a grab. You're reaching for anything that works. So why not take a big guy who can run, put him outside, and then move Laviska inside and let him do what he does, right? It's that old thing. If you lose your left tackle and you move your right tackle to left tackle, now you've weakened yourself at two different positions, right? Don't do that. My thought is I'd rather see Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah, I think we've seen the examples of what Laviska Shenault can do on the outside. It doesn't seem to be working. So yeah, it's about that time to make the change.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't realistically know if that's going to help that much, but it should help Laviska. So
yeah, I mean,
go for it.
It might.
Do something.
At this point after last week, try anything.
Yeah, that's the point we're at.
Right.
Yeah. All right, John.
Well, and I'm going to beat my point a little bit here.
Here we go.
The Jaguars will clean it up on Sunday, or it won't be pretty at all. And I kind of mentioned this when I was talking about the last thing. If they play like this,
It might get ugly.
yeah, it's going to get bad in some situations this year. This, to me, is the best team they will play all season.
Yeah.
I understand the Rams are very, very good. Maybe I'll change my tune at that point. But right now you're looking at the Bills. They lost a very close game to Pittsburgh. They probably should have won. They lost a very close game to
The Titans.
To the Titans that they were one play away from winning. So they're 2 plays away from being unbeaten. I expect this team to be in the Super Bowl. there are some games where a lesser team, which right now the Jaguars are a lesser team than the Bills. There are some situations where you can see them figuring out a way to do it. I think this is so overwhelming a matchup that not only won't but can't happen. But if you go out there and you give away yards and you give away scenarios and you taunt after a 7-yard gain by the opponent and give them more yards and turn 4th downs into first, this could be as bad as it's been out here in a long time. Play better, stay in it, make yourself respectable, have some pride.
By the way, that play was infuriating.
It really was.
Shut up and walk away. He drug you 7 yards up the field. Shut up and turn around. You were brought in here, Rayshon Jenkins, to be the guy in the secondary, to be a leader. The coaches talked about that leadership all year long. Leaders understand, man, I can't do this to my team.
Yeah.
They're smart enough to turn and walk away.
And it's been twice, frankly.
Yeah,
So
at
some point, don't do
It's
that.
become a problem. What about both? What about there's enough pride and there's enough work done this week that they do clean it up, but still it won't be pretty.
Oh,
That's that's a possible outcome. It could be both.
It could be prettier.
Well, I guess what
Less ugly.
I'm saying is if this team plays its best football,
Yeah.
the Bills don't. They're so much more talented.
Right.
I don't think they have to play
Well,
a
I
perfect
mean-
game to beat the Jaguars if the Jaguars play their best.
We have time to get more into the Bills, but everybody thinks of the Bills right now, I assume, or how I thought of them before this week, because I watched the Jaguars more than the other teams. I saw Josh Allen, Diggs, and this kind of high-flying offense I saw last year. They're the best defense in the league by far.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
They're 16 yards ahead of the rest of the pack in terms of average allowed per game. They're really good defensively. That's the reason they think they can go to the Super Bowl is they have a great defense. Boy, howdy.
Well,
Howdy.
you just look at where they've spent their draft capital,
Yeah.
right? And the patience they've had in the free agents they've brought in. They're a really, really good team.
And one thing we should say, everybody watching this who follows the Jags very closely is thinking it on some level. The Bills got in the playoffs, same way the Jaguars did in 2017.
Yeah.
They were close. They felt like they were good. They went and got their quarterback the next year.
Right.
And had a mild step back that year and now surged. Obviously, looking back, that's what the Jaguars should have done. It's the elephant in the room. They messed that up. It's why they're where they are now. But it's why they have Trevor Lawrence, so no looking back. But that's a real thing for the Bills. Credit to them.
Right. And the Jaguars do and probably didn't want to give up any of their draft capital next year because in following what the Bills did, remember, they unloaded Marcel Darius, right?
Yeah.
He came here. They took the draft picks. They used those to build the team that they have now.
Right.
So they have to take advantage of the draft capital. How many players have they traded away this year? The cornerback, Sidney Jones, and C.J. Henderson. I mean, they've moved guys to come up with picks to use next year. So I think they are following the example of what Buffalo has done.
Yeah, and now you look at Buffalo, who has the money to go sign a guy like Stephon Diggs and build around your quarterback.
Yeah.
It's a lovely model, I will say. All right, my this or that is figure out a solution quickly or stay unbalanced. Coach Meyer post-game in Seattle talked about how the unbalanced offense was a key contributor to the loss. They got away from the running game quickly when James Robinson left the game. Well, James Robinson has a bruised heel in his day-to-day. If he cannot go on Sunday against the Bills, you need to find a solution to this, because if you go into this game unbalanced and Trevor Lawrence drops back and throws 54 times again, that's when it gets ugly. You have Carlos Hyde. You have Dare Ngumbawale. You brought back Divine Exigbo to the active roster. So you have 3 running backs right now that you have to use in rotation. It's not what you want. It's not going to be pretty, but you have to be more balanced or this is not good.
Yeah, I hope this is the last year that we say there's a formula for the Jaguars to win, right?
But that's it.
But, well, look, because there's no speed,
Right.
teams are going to squeeze the field down like the Seahawks did. And if your quarterback is throwing the ball more than 35 times, there's going to be interceptions and turnovers, which can create the avalanche that John was talking about earlier. There are not enough great players, game-breaking players on this roster right now for them to be able to just line up, match up, and put their game plan in motion. They have a formula, a very specific formula. Gosh, I hope we're not saying that next year.
Yes, we want to be team no avalanche. That's what we strive for.
Just go,
Just
right?
go.
Just get this kid some weapons. Just go.
Absolutely. When we come back on Jaguars Drive Time, some hot takes here on the Jaguars Hard Rock Sportsbook Digital Network.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle, and Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
At ViStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vistarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Over 30 communities to choose from with the best selection of move-in ready homes, quality, value, personalization. That's the Dreamfinders Homes difference. Visit dreamfindershomes.com. We're back, Jaguars Drive Time on a Wednesday. It is time for hot takes. They might be a little negative, but we're going to power through them. Brian Sexton.
Well, I think not negative. They're realistic. Listen to this and you'll see. This team can play significantly better than they did last week, but the outcome is not going to look a lot different in 2021 in terms of they're not going to be better. They are what they are. They're very limited in terms of the speed. They don't have the speed to get down the field and open things up. They can do what they do better, the formula that we were just talking about. But that isn't going to translate into a better team this year. Hopefully it translates into young players developing and becoming a better player, better team next year.
Yeah, on that note, I think Trevor is in an unenviable situation because I think he didn't play well last week.
Nope.
But I think he specifically can play better and not necessarily see great results because it's very difficult as a quarterback. I said it last week a couple of times, to go 14 plays, 80 yards. And, I thought the first drive the other day personified that a lot. They had some good plays to get to, 1st and 10 on the 39 or the 40 of the Seahawks. He looks downfield, and he might have missed Marvin Jones on first down. It was hard to tell. But overall, on that moment, there's not enough speed to break wide open to go score right then. So all of a sudden you throw one incomplete, you're behind the chains, and there's nothing to make up for it. Mm-hmm. And now you've stalled. So that, I think, is a little bit of a microcosm of what's going on. Is it's hard to go that far, 80 yards, multiple plays, when you can't have any guys who can make one big play.
Yeah.
Well, and at no point
That's not what the NFL is these days.
No, it's not. And the other thing is, John, they're not dictating anything to the defense. The defense is dictating everything. Mm-hmm. You can only take what they give you. You can't go take what you want.
Right.
That isn't what the head coach has said he wants to play like. It's what he's forced to play like because they don't have the speed.
Yeah, totally. John?
And I sort of, I guess resent's the right word, Shalane, what you said about negative, because
Resent.
mine is very positive.
Okay.
As I'm wont to do. Josh Allen, this is a hopeful take as much as it's a hot take. But we've seen signs of it. The last 2 weeks, Josh Allen may have put together his two best back-to-back games since he's been here. I'm including his rookie year because he doesn't have the help this year that he did as a rookie. He was very good against Miami, came close to a sack, and had a game-changing play. The other day, in the last quarter and a half, he was very, very good. I always put a little asterisk next to that last quarter and a half because I don't know how much the Seahawks were giving at that point. So I'm not going to do cartwheels about how the defense played, but Josh Allen, within the context of what we saw, has had 2 very good games. Boy, do they need me to be right on this hot take.
Just like Trevor Lawrence needs more help, Josh needs more help.
Yeah.
He can be that player on the defense if Caleb on Chason could play consistent football. If Jordan Smith becomes the sort of pass rusher they thought that they're going to get and develop, if they go and sign someone or draft someone, he needs more help. He needs better coverage behind him.
I thought Urban's points on that, I'm sorry, Schlein, but I thought Urban's points on that on Monday were valid. I don't know that Josh Allen has been playing poorly necessarily all year. They've been getting a little better push from inside. That helps Josh Allen because the quarterback can't step up. I think that is a very pertinent point to remember with Josh Allen this year. I think he's probably played better so far than we gave him credit for.
Very much. All right, my hot take is stop saying the offensive line is playing bad. Stop blaming only them for a 1-6 record. I spoke to Tony Baselli earlier this week for a segment we do, and he really sparked this because you look at the 7 quarterback hits and the 1 sack, and Trevor Lawrence dropping back 54 times against the Seattle Seahawks. Do the math. That's pretty good, and I understand he was running for his life at times, and the timing wasn't great, but the defensive line gets paid too. And I think when you look at all the things that are going wrong with this team, offensive line is not at the top of the list. It's just so popular to pick on them, but they are not number 1.
Well, you have 2 backups in there, right?
Yes.
I mean, you've got Shatley and you've got Barch, and Barch may eventually be a starter, but he's still a guy who's developing. And Shatley's a really good number 2, but he's not Brandon Linder. So and people lose sight of that. Here's the other thing, man. It looked like the Seahawks were just send everyone.
Because they can,
Because they could.
Well, guess what? If you get down by 14 points
That's what's
in the
gonna
second
happen.
quarter in 10 games the rest of the season, you're going to have 10 games look exactly like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because teams don't have to be scared of the receivers. So they can send guys, they're going to blitz. Right now, that's going to be the formula.
Yeah.
So you have to either avoid being in that situation or play your way out of it. It's really hard to play your way out of that formula. When you're down 14 in the NFL, you're going to have a hard time protecting your quarterback, even if you're the best offensive line in the league. It's the nature of the beast. You can't withstand that sort of pressure for 50 plays in a row.
Yes, totally agree. And that is Hot Takes when we come back on the Jaguars Hard Rock Sportsbook Digital Network. Some closing thoughts.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Hard Rock Sportsbook is coming to Florida. Join the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Hard Rock for safe, trusted, and completely legal sports betting. Go to hardrocksportsbook.com to get all the latest details leading up to launch. Play remotely from anywhere in Florida, including on your phone or computer or in person at Seminole Casinos. Want great promotions like free bets, odds boosts, and bonuses? Hard Rock Sportsbook will have all your favorite bets and promotions. Hard Rock Sportsbook, the best place to be a Jaguars fan. Coming soon. Must be at least 21 and physically present in Florida to wager. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-800-522-4700.
Hard Rock Sportsbook must be 21 and physically present in Florida to wager. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-800-522-4700. Presenting sponsor of the Jaguars Digital Network. Today is Wednesday. Head coach Urban Meyer coming up here shortly. You can watch that on jaguars.com/live. We have Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, and a couple more players this afternoon. We have the Huddle Up podcast with Bucky Brooks this afternoon, and we're back tomorrow morning on Jaguars Drive Time on Thursday. We will see you then.